Hey guys, you ready for some gardening? Let's get to it. Alright, so if you guys look around, you remember this pen, right? This is where the goats had stayed. There was a shed or shaded area here. They had their little table that they could lay on and chill. Well, now there's no goats here, but they run around and they're the ones that are kind of like the lawn mowers. They eat all the poison ivy, which actually they love, which is kind of weird because we don't like it. We don't want to touch poison ivy, but they love it. It's kind of weird. But they're out by the hills and everything, and you'll just see them roaming around, being tied up to a leash, and they'll eat all the poison ivy and everything. So, since we're doing this virtual summer camp thing, Mr. Eric decided to turn this into a garden space. So as you can see, I mean, this stuff has bloomed up already and it's only the beginning of summer. But I just wanted to kind of walk you guys through some of the plants here, and then we're going to talk about how to take care of them, what type of soil you need, really good rich soil. Because the goats stayed in here, it's got poop in it. Yay, all that goat poop manure as I'm holding it in my hands. Fun stuff. But all of that has kind of fertilized the dirt, as well as the hay that we laid out every time it got mushy and muddy. So that has created this really rich soil that holds really good moisture, which is good for the plants as well. So these right here are Alabama pole beans. So these are kind of viney, and they grow up and they're gonna be attached to this wiring, and they're just gonna grow straight up, and then it's gonna just have plenty of beans on them to eat. And then these right here are baby tomato plants, really tiny. They're also vines, so they grow up and you'll attach them to a stake, which I'll show you how to do that later. Right here we have squash, a little bit of zucchini mixed in there as well. And you can see Mr. Eric, you guys remember the machine I was working on like just a few seconds ago before you guys came? It's called a tiller. And so this is what he uses to till in between the rows of the garden to kind of create, breaks up the soil. And then he uses a hoe to kind of come in and chop the dirt up a little bit, and that gets oxygen into the dirt, which the plants love. Like, we like oxygen, right? Like, everyone, I want you to take a deep breath of oxygen and let it out. We like it, right? Oxygen is fun. So plants need that too. So that's why you take the hoe and you just kind of keep breaking up the dirt a little bit to kind of get oxygen into it. This whole row up until this point is peppers. You have yellow peppers and I think some spicy peppers as well. But as you can also see, they are being eaten by some bugs, which isn't good. So they'll get some dust sprinkled on them, which kind of gets the bugs to go away and everything, because we don't want bugs eating our plants. And then here is our tomato plants, and as you can see, they just got this tall viney stuff. We've already staked a few of them, but I'm going to show you guys later how to stake a tomato plant when it gets to about this height, so it grows up and you have nice big juicy tomatoes, which everyone loves. And then here we have more of the beans. More beans, a whole bunch of beans. And then this way is peas. So peas don't take as much work. They like the rockier hard soil, and they don't take as much care as tomatoes, squash, and that type of stuff does. And if you see these right over here, there's some eggplant, which is very eaten up by bugs if you can't tell. Very holy, Holy Spirit, okay. And then over here is just some cucumber plants. And so it's, oh, I love cucumbers. Raise your hand if you love cucumbers. I saw that, yeah, cucumber fans, I like it. But they have, just like the squash, they have blooms on them, and at the bloom, at the bottom, it's when the cucumber starts forming. And then there's only maybe 10, 15 of the green plants, but this will produce like 5, maybe 6 cucumbers, and you'll just have cucumber salad for life. So that's pretty much the plants here. There's some more up at the horse barn, which it's basically peas again. corn, bunch of corn, and okra, and that takes less care. They like that drier, more sandy type soil. But next up, I'm going to show you guys about the soil and how it works with the plants, and then we're going to get to plant something. Plant some flowers, plant some peas, and it'll be really fun. So right here, as I was pointing out earlier, is the tomato plants, and these are vines, so they want to grow up. It's okay to leave them down like this, but whenever you start getting tomatoes and all that good stuff, you just kind of want it to vine up so it has more ability to grow out and get more oxygen as it's in the air and everything. But I'm going to show you guys if you have any tomato plants, that's amazing. If not, I'm going to show you kind of what to do when it gets to this size. And you just want a stake of any kind. A lot of people, you'll see normally those circular ones that you just stick in the ground and they just kind of grow around the circle. Mr. Eric uses these wooden ones, which don't hurt the plants because they have some type of sealant on them or something, but it's not bad for the plants. But yeah, so it's easy. You'll just take the vine, just bring it over close to the stake, and you'll just tie 1 or 2 knots, not too tightly, and so it holds up the plant itself, and then that way it'll just keep growing up and up, just like the bean plants too. The bean plants do the same exact thing. But see, it just kind of holds it up, and plants are attracted to sunlight because photosynthesis, if you guys know what that is. Basically, plants get their food through photosynthesis, which is the sun up there, the glorious sun. That's how they eat. That's their fast food. Then, like we have Taco Bell, they have Taco Sun. Taco Sun? That's a word. But yeah, so these grow up and they reach towards the heavens and the sun, and it's really amazing how God created all this stuff, because I would not have the mindset to even think of how to take care of one leaf. But so this is a tomato plant. It'll grow up, and I'll show you guys. Miss Linda has some really good tomato plants that have grown super tall, and they have tomatoes that are almost ready to pick. They'll be green and then they turn that red color, and you're like, yes, ready to pick. But next up, we're gonna look at planting some stuff. And there's a new thing that Mr. Eric is wanting to try, but we're gonna try it first. And it's called straw bale planting, which is kind of weird. But so this is not hay. If you use hay, it's more of grass. And so what you do with the straw bale is you water it. This has been left out in the rain, obviously. It's been raining a whole bunch, like a whole bunch. But these are already wet, as you could sort of tell. It's just wet right there. And they hold in the moisture and the heat. And somehow they're able to start growing plants instantly. So I've never tried this technique, neither has Mr. Eric. But we're gonna see if we can plant some plants in here, and instantly it's like a good plant grower. I mean, the hay bale that's wet, or the straw bale that's wet, just instantly makes the plants grow bigger. And yeah, I'm really excited to see how it'll turn out. Alright, so this is the straw bale gardening, and so we created holes. We kind of dug down in the hay a little bit, and it's super wet. If you can tell here, it's just very moist. That's what it's like in here. So we dug a hole, and then we tossed some soil, and also the soil is a mix of compost and topsoil with a little bit of the soil behind me from the plants, that really goat poop soil, that really nutritious soil. But compost is again another mixture of dirt, a little bit of manure, some sand, and then topsoil is just regular dirt. But we also mix the dirt with horse manure and mulch, which is something I'll show you guys in a second, and we can get it to look exactly like this rich soil behind me. But right here in my hand, I have peas. Yay peas, yay vegetables, eat your greens. So these we planted mostly up at Horse Barn, but we're gonna try and plant them in this. and just see the difference. So I just created little holes in the soil that we had and just toss it in there and just kind of like fill in the dirt around it. I mean, I'm sure some of you have planted plants before, but if not, it's really easy, and then you're done. That's it. And then we have a few more, but also we are gonna plant 1 or 2 tomato plants just to see how they'll do. But it's really easy. And the reason I'm showing you guys gardening and why I wanted to do this little class activity for you guys is because obviously we're all stuck at home. We can't go many places. So it's just like, it's a good way to get out of the house, outdoors in nature, and really see what God created. I mean, who would have ever thought to use a straw bale to create a garden out of, which is crazy. But the things that happen whenever you go outside and you just start getting your hands dirty, getting outdoors more, you just feel such a connection to God, at least I do. And you can get out with your families as well and just simply plant plants like that. And I also have a cute activity or cute craft that you guys can do too for gardening. But pretty much this is what it'll be. I'm gonna plant another tomato plant later. So right in front of me, I have 3 big old buckets of dirt. How many of you like playing in dirt? Cause I do. I think it's really fun. And just get down with God's nature, right? You're just in that dirt, getting all dirty. You feel like you did a lot of hard work if you're in the dirt. But what I have in this bucket, and you can come and look at it if you want, is topsoil and compost. So topsoil is kind of the browner looking soil. And then compost is the darker soil, more of the broken up plants, mulch, whatever it may be. It's just broken down and it creates this really rich soil. It's moist. It rained a few days, so it got kind of wet. It doesn't, like it's not really wet, but it just feels moist, which is really good for the plants and everything. But also, I thought it was kind of funny, so I found this earthworm. I don't even know if you guys can see it, but the earthworm has like been dried up in the sun, and so if you squish it, it feels like a gummy worm, which is kind of gross. But it's a gummy worm if you guys want to eat it. I'm not gonna eat it. I know what you're thinking, I'm not gonna eat it. That's gross, guys. Why would you think I was gonna eat it? But what you do for your compost and topsoil, these are mixed in together, and I just kind of like mix it around and everything. But you're also gonna add what's in these buckets. Can you guess what is in these buckets? Something that is kind of gross. All of you guys at Horse Barn and all that stuff, if you ever helped out shovel some of the horses' manure and just tossed it into a pile behind the barn, you understand if you've ridden a horse and seen what comes out of it, the grossness that it is. The manure is mixed in with mulch, and that is sitting right here. And so this manure is really nutritious, and it's really good mixed in with the compost and topsoil to create the rich soil that we see in there, because that's filled with the goat poop and the soil and the leftover hay. So if you'll mix it in, you just kind of get a big old handful and you mix it in there, and that just creates a better soil for your plants and everything. And also, you guys who are at home and wanting to do this activity, it might be hard to find soil. It might be hard to, you're probably like, I don't have a good ground, I don't have a backyard maybe to use, I don't have anything like that. But go to plant stores, plant nurseries. You can go to Lowe's, Home Depots. You can even go, I think Hot Springs has a place where you can get free compost. Yay! But literally dirt is everywhere. It is not hard to find it, and it's not hard to go out and get some. It's not hard to start working in your backyard and creating that garden. So you and your parents, older siblings, younger siblings, whoever it may be, just start gardening and start getting out there working. Even if you don't have horse poop or goat poop, which if you did, that'd be kind of interesting. You can work with whatever you have, and if you just get a really nice rich soil, and as long as the soil gets oxygen in it and it's moist and it's really fine, kind of like this. You just play with it and you can feel how healthy it is. Your plants will start growing like it's nothing. But I'm putting some in here. It's probably good. And we're going to create kind of this tipsy-turvy pot thing. That'll go good in your front yard, in your backyard, on your porch, in your house if you want it in your house. And it's a really fun, creative thing you guys can do. I just painted it really simple. You guys can get creative, however creative you want. That's a fun thing. God gave us this creative mind, and we're able to use it to just play around with His creation, create things that are beautiful. So we're gonna get some pots started, and then I'll show you guys how to create it and what it'll look like. So, you guys excited? I know you're excited. You're bouncing up and down. I can see it. All right, let's get going. All right, so this is the pot idea I was telling you guys about. Hey, you wanna come join? Chickens wanna join. I just quickly painted some pots. I have some smaller ones, but you want a metal pole. You can do it with the wooden pole as well. I didn't measure it, so this one's gonna be a little bit taller than needed, but we can hide it later with some other stuff. But a metal pole or wooden stake, whatever can fit in the hole of these pots. And then you get 3 or 4 different sizes. You could get a really big 1-gallon one, or I think it's 2 gallons. And then you're just gonna stack it like this. So I already planted a few flowers. These are called impatiens. And so probably some of you are like, oh, it's boring, flowers, all this stuff. It's actually really cool. Impatiens are super popular. You see them everywhere. They just sprout up, and they're really gorgeous. They come in like so many different colors. And they take some shade, a lot more shade than sun. So say you were to put it on your back porch. If your back porch has shade a lot more than it would have sun, that's a good area to put it, because they do well in the sunshine and the shade. Are you learning a lot? I think the chicken's learning a lot, right? Nod your head. Yeah. No? Well, he's learning something. So anyway, I started 2 pots before, and then I have a 3rd one, and this is filled with the soil that we just mixed. So it's got the compost, the topsoil, the horse manure, the wood chips, and everything. And we're just staggering it like this. So it's called a tipsy-turvy pot, or plant holder, whatever it may be. And then it sits on top of each other like that, so you can play with it and then maybe grab more soil and just kind of build it up back there so it doesn't exactly fall. So then you're just gonna kind of create a little hole like we did over there with the straw bales. And then we're gonna get out, I think a white, or yeah. We're gonna get out one of these plants. You can find these at your plant nursery and everything. But see, I'm just gonna place it over here, like that. And you just kind of push it into the soil a little bit, and then put more soil around it to just kind of build it up and everything. Fun stuff, right? We should plant another one. Can I help? Yeah, you can. Everyone, this is Kelsey from Horse Barn.
Hi.
Kelsey, you know the horse poop that you guys have at the barn?
The ones we have to shovel?
Yeah. You're about to put your hands in it.
Woohoo!
Fun stuff. But yeah, just do like I showed you guys. She's gonna make a little hole for the plants to go in. Just squish it.
Wow, so easy.
Right? Super creative and fun, and it looks like really cute, and even you like guys can do it too. It's a cool activity. You get to paint, but then you'll just keep going and building it up until it looks like a tipsy-turvy pot.
Perfect. I love it.
Yay!
So cute.
All right, so we're over here in front of Miss Linda's house. We took that short little trail behind the nature house to pop up over here, but these are the tomato plants, and they've been staked already. They're growing up pretty nicely. And if you could see, here's some tomato plants right there. See how they're green? I don't see any red yet. They're still getting there. But soon they'll turn kind of this orange, yellowish, and then they'll turn red. And then you got some nice big juicy tomatoes. Great in salads, whatever. Be creative with tomatoes. Here is some Tabasco peppers, so they're gonna be that little spicy, that little heat. I like some heat, so I would like these more. And then up here, we have some really gorgeous flowers. And then we also have mint, because we all need fresh breath, right? So we have mint for fresh breath, and some lemongrass. And then there's more mint and oregano up there as well, which these are all pretty good seasonings you can put in your meals. Put in your salads. Mint and tomatoes makes a really good salad. Olive oil, salt, and pepper. I'm not giving you guys a recipe, but I kind of am giving you a recipe, so if you want to use it, go for it. But over here, she's also got some more plants, flowers, grasses, all that type of stuff. But she's got tomatoes, and then this is actually cabbage. And so they took cabbage leaves from one of their meals, Miss Linda did, and she planted the cabbages because, well, it's right here. All of a sudden it started sprouting up again. It was just a cabbage heart. So they planted it, and now it's creating a whole other cabbage. And these are called heirlooms. These, as well as all the squash, the zucchini, the tomatoes, all that stuff, those are called heirlooms because you can reuse their seeds. So if you take this one, you eat the cabbage, you take the heart of it and go replant it, it pops up again. God created this, and somehow it just blows my mind that we can keep reusing seeds and it just grows into this glorious harvest. And I mean, we could survive off of it. I wanted to show you guys the ease of gardening, so that, like, let's say grocery stores are kind of expensive. I know, I'm a family, or I have a family, and there's like five of us in the house, and we go to grocery stores and get fruit, vegetables, all that type of stuff, but it ends up being pretty expensive for fruit and vegetables that last only a little bit of time. But this way has really opened my eyes to just gardening, and you get fresh veggies, fresh fruits, and all that stuff, and it's a lot cheaper. Seeds are maybe like $3, and you get 10, 12 seeds in a packet. And it's super easy and creative for you guys to do, especially in this time of quarantine. I wish you guys were here so that I could actually work with you, but that is coming in the future. So come to CYB, you'll learn how to garden. You will be a master gardener by the end of the summer, just saying. And then just a few more plants back here. It's really cool if you can see this plant right here. That's an avocado plant. You plant the pits, and then the pits of the avocado just grow into this nice, luscious avocado tree. And then more tomatoes, a whole bunch of tomatoes. We're gonna be like overflowing in tomatoes. But yeah, I want you guys to try this. You guys can start with the seed. You guys can go to the store and buy herbs like rosemary, oregano, basil. I love basil. And start small and create your garden. Maybe create your pot, your tipsy-turvy pot, whatever it is. Just start building it, creating it. Go in the backyard, break up the ground, start creating your own whole backyard full of gardens. Whatever it may be, just start small and you'll see the difference that it makes. You'll feel awesome. You're a master gardener. Super cool. Also, if you want to take a picture of your garden, if you plant seeds, maybe every week you just kind of check on it. Take pictures, post it on Instagram, and then tag us, Arcla Youth. Heck yeah. And we'd love to see what you guys are coming up with. We're going to post pictures of what our gardens are coming up with. Soon we'll have squash, we'll have cucumbers, we'll have plenty of vegetables. So you, your families, your friends, everyone else, just try it out. It's super fun. I miss you all so much. I really wish you guys were here so I could like show you in person, but come next summer and it'll be amazing. So bye from KK.